The other question I wanted to ask is about converting your license from Alberta to Saskatchewan.
Why I went through that evaluation with the US was because the US, they understood nursing diplomas in Nigeria. They have been evaluating it for years.
Can people come into Canada, study maybe another program, and then come into Canada to study nursing?
Alberta now and Ontario, they say they will not take any diploma registered nurses.
What's the simpler way to go about coming to Canada and becoming a registered nurse? Hi guys, my energy is on a high because I finally have our registered nurse on the channel straight from Saskatchewan. We have 2 videos that we're going to be making today. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and she'll tell us which particular video this one is. If you see this first, then you know that there's a video that is also coming up next, and if you see that one, then come back to this video. But I'm just going to give a little information here. Myself and her, she'll introduce herself shortly. We've done a video before about how she came into Canada to study Masters of Public Health, so I'm going to link that video here for you guys, so make sure to watch that video just so that you have a more solid background, because I know she'll talk about it, but she might just talk about it on the surface. So yeah, without further ado, let us hear from my guest and we'll jump right into the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria. I'm a registered nurse in Saskatchewan, and this is my friend Yemisi, and we'll be answering all your questions about nursing.
Yeah. I wanted to just touch on this particular question. Can people come into Canada, study maybe another program, and then come into Canada to study nursing?
Yeah, there are programs like that you can study nursing after you've had a degree before. You just have to meet the requirements of the university.
Okay,
so you have to meet those requirements. Once you meet the requirements, you can enroll.
Someone like me, social sciences background, can I?
Yeah, there are lots of people that study geography, that did microbiology, that are nurses now. You just have to check the school. Do you meet their requirements? Even if you don't meet their requirements, you can email them and let them know you're interested. How can I? And they'll explain it to you, really.
So do you go straight into bachelor's, or do you start with a foundation stage?
Usually they have prerequisites, maybe these courses you have not taken them before, but they need you to have these courses to be able to enroll. So they have prerequisites, and if you get those prerequisites, then you can enroll. Some of them are 3 years, some are 2 years, some are the regular 4 years. That's if it's not accelerated.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So now you guys know, right? The next question that people always ask, and I think it's because I've done a video before. I even talked about my friend recently that came into Canada, went into the care job pathway, does all those different care jobs, full-time, part-time, and now he's going into nursing, although he has a science background, studied biochemistry in his undergrad. So for someone like that, if people are in that kind of shoe where they also have a sciences background and they believe that they can come in here and work as a care worker, maybe even while studying, and they now want to branch out into nursing, how?
I would say that if you come here and you get a job as a healthcare aide, I don't think that really counts for you becoming a nurse. You still have to meet the prerequisites that the university gives. If they say these are the certain requirements you must meet, you have to meet that for you to be able to apply for admission. So you having a healthcare background, if the courses you have done in the past maybe aligns with their prerequisites, then they can say, oh, you have done this before, you passed it with a certain grade, we will allow you. But at the end of the day, it's the university that will decide who they are going to let enroll. So I would advise that whatever school you're searching for, you go to the websites. Their websites are always very helpful to meet your needs. And if you're confused, there's always an email there. You can write them an email. When you're writing an email, don't just write, there's a funny way people write emails, try to explain yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. Say, oh, I have this degree, I want to enroll as a nursing student. When you read through the website, it's very clear, very concise, and you're able to channel the questions that you really want to ask. And they will be the best to help you because this is their field. They're the advisors for the program. So yeah, if you say you have a health background and you come here, you do a PSW, you are working. I know some universities, they give you a shorter time if you have been a PSW before, you had a PSW certificate.
That's my question, yes. Does it help to, because that my friend now, although I didn't get a very full background to the whole conversation, but I know that because he has his biochemistry undergrad degree, they now factor those into, I think he's doing Bachelor of Nursing, so they factor those credit units into his current stuff, and he's starting from 300 level now.
I would say because he met the prerequisites.
Okay.
For that year. That's why they
because I know you also had to write like 2 exams.
Exactly. So
if you to join the
I know via YouTube, like she did her nursing for 2 years, right? And it was because she was able to meet the prerequisites because she studied pharmacy, right? So she was able to meet their already set prerequisites because she has had the courses before. And she just sent it to them. They're like, oh, okay. And then they enrolled her. So it's all about the school, prerequisites, and all these things. But they will be the best person to explain to you. If you go to their website and you see, oh, they ask for physiology, I've never done it before.
Yeah.
Meaning, what does that mean? You have to meet that prerequisite. That's just what it means. But if you have it and you send them your transcript and like, oh, I've done physiology before, this is what I scored, then it's at their own discretion to say, okay, we will accept that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a question that someone dropped, and I mentioned that I was going to ask when you come around. So the person said, I am a nurse aide here in Nigeria. Can I use my Nigerian first aid and CPR certificate over there?
Here we also do a lot of CPR and first aid.
Food safety.
Food safety. I would think if, let's say, you got it from like the Canadian Red Cross, because it's like a universal body kind of, then you can use it. I'm not so sure, but if the body that gave it to you is like the Canadian Red Cross,
or can they evaluate it here?
Then you can maybe,
but I think that's
when you get here, you can maybe call their office and like say, oh, I have my certificate from here. Is it the same? Try and evaluate it. But I don't think a lot of Canadians try to trust their own certificates that they give you in their own country.
Right.
Yeah. So if there's no way to show equivalency, like, oh, I got it from the Canadian Red Cross, because here too you can do your CPR with like Canadian Red Cross. When I was in Nigeria, I had my own CPR too. I did it with the Canadian Red Cross.
Oh, so you didn't have to?
No, I did another one because it was expired, because it expires like every 2 years.
Okay, I think that's all the question that I kind of have for you. Okay, so now we're back. Victoria is going to be talking about how to become a registered nurse in Canada. And she's going to give us the whole background information because, yes, she's a registered nurse in Canada. And she came in 2022.
Yeah.
Your journey, eh? This girl can read for the nation, though, you guys. Over to you.
I'd like to say like the Canadian pathway is becoming a lot more simpler than it used to be to become a registered nurse, especially like for foreign trained nurses. I did my nursing in Nigeria. I went to FCT School of Nursing, Gwagwalada. I got my diploma in nursing, and that is what I used to become a registered nurse. First of all, I will explain the process that I used, so there will not be any confusion. So what I did was I evaluated my nursing degree, that's my nursing diploma with the Joseph Silney and Associates. Some people use CGFNS or Joseph Silney. Why I used Joseph Silney was because they were very fast. It took like maybe 2 weeks after I gave them everything that they required, and they sent me my CES report. So when I got my report...
So now there will be people that are layman in my comment section. Joseph Silney is an institute, right?
Yes.
In where?
In America.
In America, and they evaluate credentials.
Yes, they evaluate nursing credentials.
That's one. What is
CGFNS?
I'm just doing it for my people because
like
even
West.
Me, I don't know. Okay, it's like West evaluation.
I would say like you should just, when I mention, you just put it.
Yes, but we still have to say it.
Okay.
So that they hear all those things.
All right. So the CGFNS is like an evaluating body, just like West, right? Okay. CGFNS is an American body that evaluates nursing diplomas, nursing degrees, just to show equivalency with America or Canada. No, they don't do for Canada, with America, right? And Joseph Silney is also like them. It's just like they just came out new. They're not really known. CGFNS is really known. And why I picked Joseph Silney, I was really scared at that point though. But the turnaround time was quick, right? CGFNS was taking like 3 months, and they were asking for WAEC, a scratch card, and all those things. But Joseph Silney didn't ask for that. They just asked me to send my verification from NMCN, and I also sent my transcript from my school. So when I sent them those things, they evaluated my diploma, and they said, oh, it was equivalent to the US, right? So when they sent me those things. I registered with the Texas Board of Nursing. When I sent my report to Texas Board of Nursing, I did their jurisprudence exam. And after that, they gave me an authorization. I did their jurisprudence exam. I sent my thumb print. The whole process is on the website though. Thumb printing, jurisprudence exam.
And we'll leave the link in the description box.
They sent me my authorization to test for my NCLEX. I prepared for my NCLEX. I passed and they gave me my license. So when the US gave me my license, coincidentally at that same time, Alberta changed their policy and they're like, oh, we are no longer using the long route of NNAS. NNAS is a nursing body that assesses foreign degrees for Canadian equivalency. Alberta was like, if you are registered in Nigeria, if you're registered in the Philippines, India, the US, and the UK, send us your degree. And if you have written the NCLEX, let us know. And we're going to give you a license. So that's what I did. I registered with College of Registered Nurses Alberta, and I followed the something equivalent pathway.
Okay.
So many words, right? And there I just told them, oh, I'm a Nigerian nurse. I sent them my NCLEX from the US. So if you already passed the NCLEX before, because Canada, US, and Australia, they use, I think, and New Zealand. Maybe Australia, I'm not too sure. But I know for the Canada and US, they use the same exam. Once I sent them my NCLEX, they were able to verify that I have passed it and they issued me my license. And that's how I was able to get my Canadian RN license. When I got my Alberta license, I transferred to Saskatchewan as a Canadian nurse.
Okay.
And that's how I was able to get my Saskatchewan license.
Okay, I have 3 questions for you. Let me write it down so that I don't forget. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I have 3 questions. I know I'm asking from a layman perspective, which I believe is good because that way I'll, maybe pinpoint some things that are not clear to me and maybe not clear to others. Because I tried to ask people to send me questions, but maybe I did not pass that information out clearly. So the first question is, when you were trying to evaluate your credentials with America, like the whole licensing thing, did you have to submit any proof of experience working in Nigeria or not?
No, the CGFNS is purely to evaluate your education.
Education, just like
and
this.
Your school gives you an experience because we do clinicals. So they will give you a clinical hour list, like, oh, you did your clinicals in OBGYN, did your clinicals in pediatrics. So they have all those hours that you have spent in the hospital during your training. They will have to send that list to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's alongside your...
It's alongside your transcript.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Is there something else you wanted to say?
No.
Okay. So now, it has nothing to do with your nursing profession in Nigeria.
For evaluating my degree with CGFNS to write my NCLEX, they didn't ask anything about like your hours spent working as a registered nurse. But when you want to get your license from like Saskatchewan and all those things, they may ask you for hours.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you have to request for it.
Yes, and you have to request for it.
Okay, that makes sense. The reason you had to go through that is because you actually had a diploma in nursing.
I would say why I went through the US and
like the whole evaluation.
Why I went through that evaluation with the US was because the US, they understood nursing diplomas in Nigeria. They have been evaluating it for years.
Okay.
But Alberta now and Ontario, they say they will not take any diploma registered nurses for evaluation. So they want you to have a Bachelor of Nursing. So mostly they will ask for like a WES report and something that will show for 4 years. But even CGFNS evaluates nursing degrees.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That was my next follow-up question. If you studied Bachelor of Nursing straight,
yeah,
you don't have to go through that route, or you still have
You can go through that route.
But you may not, right?
No. Why I went through the US was...
sorry, what I mean is, if you didn't have a diploma in nursing and what you had was a bachelor in nursing, would you still have to evaluate?
Obviously, you have to show equivalency.
Okay.
Because it's a foreign degree.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a foreign degree. It's just that you may say because provinces of Canada, all of them have their own rules and or that they follow. Like Ontario says, we will not register any nurse that does not have a Bachelor of Nursing. They stopped that this year.
Okay.
So People were able to register before, but now you have to show proof that you have a Bachelor of Nursing. Every province has their, but you have to still show equivalency. Why people go through the CGFNS is because, through the US is, the path is known, it is quicker, because if you send your report to NNAS, it takes like a year. And when it comes out, they may say your education is not comparable to...
What is NNAS?
NNAS is the body that evaluates nursing degrees for Canada.
Okay.
So they may say, oh, it's non-comparable to Canadian education. And they may say, oh, you need to do some courses. But once you have written the NCLEX, that NCLEX is proof that, because that is the exam that every nurse writes.
Okay.
If you write the NCLEX and pass, that is proof that you are competent. That is like baseline for nursing.
I believe that everyone has gotten the answer to the first question. So my next question was also based off of what you were saying, right? The NCLEX. What if you hadn't written it before you came into Canada?
I wrote my NCLEX while I was in Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wrote it here.
Okay. But you can still write it if you were back home.
There are no centers in Nigeria.
Ooh, okay.
But there is a center in Kenya and South Africa. Before then, a lot of people used to go to the Philippines and India to go and write the NCLEX. But there are no centers in Nigeria.
Okay, so that means we never really needed it in Nigeria.
No, it's not like we didn't need it. Nobody actually decided to have a center for it or like pushed for it to. Nigerian nurses have always been moving abroad.
Yeah, but what I mean is that if you were practicing in Nigeria, you wouldn't need to write it.
No, if you're practicing in Nigeria, you write the nursing council exam.
In Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all of this is from a layman because, of course, for anyone to watch this video, it's because you're probably in the field, right? But then if you come to Canada, you can apply for the NCLEX and then, is it an online course?
It's an online exam. It's computer-based. And what do they even call it again? Oh my God, I've forgotten. It's an adaptive exam. Like the questions like go from simple to hard to hardest, like that.
So the other question I wanted to ask is about converting your license from Alberta to Saskatchewan. Of course, you already made us know that all provinces have different rules and regulations, right? Yeah. So I think my question is like 2 in 1. How were you able to convert your license from Alberta license to Saskatchewan license? And also, how different were the requirements? I think it's like,
I think for Alberta, they just started the new pathway for like what I mentioned earlier. You had to pay for professional liability. You had to do some courses. You had to send your NCLEX reports. At that time, they didn't ask for any hours. The equivalency was if you had passed your NCLEX at a certain point, they will accept you. So I met that requirement at that time.
Okay.
So when I did that, they gave me my license. But for Saskatchewan took a lot of time, like 2 months, because they asked for police reports, they asked for international police reports, they asked for me to send my employers to send them some hours that I've worked with them before. Alberta had to send them that, yes, I'm in their register license. US had to send to them to... Nigeria didn't have to send because that was when the verification issue started. So I called them and they were like, okay, that's fine as long as US will send their own. So US sent their own. And although I'm still waiting for NMCN to send my verification because I paid and they say now the portal is open. So I hope they send... Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria to send it to me. So... I'm still waiting. I hope that doesn't cause any issues for me in the future. Nigeria problem. Yeah.
Why will you be having my country? Anyway, but right now, you are a registered nurse in Canada and you have started working with your license in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you advise anybody that is coming in to do? Do you understand? Like, you went through diploma in nursing, you traveled to India, you studied the program there, and then that's pharmacy in bachelor's in pharmacy, right? And then you came to Canada, studied masters of public health. Like, for anyone that is at home, right? Why am I talking as if we're on TV? Anyway, for anyone that is currently watching right now, what's the simpler way to go about coming to Canada and becoming a registered nurse?
I think there's no simple way to do anything, first of all. I want everybody to know that it's going to be hard.
Wow.
I think romanticizing simplicity and saying it to be simple, I don't think. Just know it to be hard and you can do it because people have done it. But I would say you have to have, what do you want to come and do? How do you want to come into Canada, right? Do you want to be a student? or you want to come as PR. So that will determine what you're going to do, right? And also resources available, because money, a lot of money will have to go into this process, right? But if you want to say, oh, first, I don't have, let me first come in, you want to do PR, I'll advise that you do your evaluation. If you have a bachelor's, you do a WES. If you have a diploma, you go through like Toronto School of Continuing Studies and get an ICAS report. So they will give you a report. If you have a diploma, they will give you a report that you have an advanced diploma, which is like the nursing diploma, right? So they recognize your nursing diploma. But if you go through WES will not evaluate it the way that will be useful to you, right? And immigration accepts all those evaluators. So pick which one will work for you and your money, right? And get into the pool. And if you get picked, then when you come into Canada, you can now decide to go through, if you have a diploma, go through the US and then come to Canada. Or if you have your Bachelor of Science in Nursing, you can still go through the US.
So when you say go through the US?
Like the process I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or if you have your Bachelor of Science in Nursing, you can send it to Alberta, even Nova Scotia too. Nova Scotia accepts directly to them. You send it to them, then they can give you authorization to test for the NCLEX. So you just have to choose which one you can do your research, put all the money side by side, make your pros and cons list and make your decision. But will it be hard? Will it not be expensive? I cannot lie. It will be expensive and it will be stressful, but I guess it's your life. You have to make your own decisions and what you feel comfortable with.
And the path that you're...
Yeah.
Okay. So another question that comes to mind right now is, once you become a registered nurse, do you still have to write some examinations?
When you become a registered nurse, as you start working, you still have orientation. They'll give you lots of modules, especially if you are coming from like a foreign country like Nigeria. Like everything is new, policies are new. I would say just keep at it. They'll do orientation for you. Learn as much as you can and just keep learning. If you see something new and you don't understand, you can speak to your clinical educator. They will be able to put you through. Don't just sit by yourself. You can always go on the website. They have policies there. You can print the policy. You can read it as much as you like. It will be hard. There are so many new things that you're not used to, but just keep on at it. Keep reading, keep practicing. There will always be new modules. Like they'll teach you new things. Like, oh, this is the new way of doing this. Like now they prefer giving injections like on the thigh. That is like dorsal gluteal is not the ideal practice. Do you get? So things keep changing like that. So you just have to keep on growing with your profession. Yeah. Okay. But would there be like an exam after that for? No.
Okay.
You just have like regular work modules to improve your nursing practice.
Again, this question is coming up. Once you come in as a student, because I know a lot of people come in as a student and they probably were interested in the healthcare pathway, but because of their background, they just came in and maybe studied, maybe in my own case, Masters of Public Administration. And then whilst they were working, because we have the opportunity to work part-time, they were able to work in a care home, gather all of those experiences and all. You already mentioned that you can, if you meet the requirements, you can always, go straight into Bachelor's of Nursing because you can't go into Masters of Nursing directly, right? Yeah. In that case, as a social sciences person, what are some of the prerequisites that you think that they will ask?
I think most of the prerequisites they ask for is like science-based prerequisites, like oh, have you done nutrition before? Maybe food as a course. Some people ask for statistics. I don't know because I didn't go through this pathway, right?
Okay.
But you working in a care home can only, I would say, pique your interest. But will a care home certificate be a prerequisite to nursing? I highly doubt it.
Because anyone can do that.
Yeah, I highly doubt it that they would say, oh, because you have done care home, like then you'll be in 200 level. No, you have to have those courses that they need.
Because otherwise you start from 100 level or like foundation.
You have to start from, if you are in social sciences, you have to start from the scratch, I guess. I know a lot of people want to shortcut 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Nursing is a very hard and very stressful course to study. So I'm not going to explicitly tell you that, oh, this is it, this is it, this is it. Every university have what the requirements you have to meet based on your own certificates and what you have. So I would say go to them, go to their webpage, email them, put in your request, read what is on there, and they'll be able to answer you based on what you have. Because some people have some don't have. So they will be able to know. And because I didn't go through that, I'm not an expert on the topic.
Okay. But then what we all agree to is that it's an expensive program. It's an expensive program,
especially if you're an international student. It's very, very, very expensive. But if you're like a PR, then you are able to get some grants, you're able to get loans to do that. But for international students, it's very expensive. I would also say if you're like quite young, like you're just finishing secondary school and you want to come to Canada, I would say if you can find like an LPN, please do it. Like a practical diploma, like you do your 2 years, you get your 3 years work permit, you are still a nurse and you can still advance and get your RN. So it will just be cheaper for your family and it will also be shorter for you. You do your 2 years, you are able to work. LPNs also make good money. Just that, okay, their scope of practice is a bit limited. But I'm just saying, because you're new, you're young, it's still a great pathway. When you come, you do your 2 years, get your work permit, you start working, you start making good money. When you get your PR, you can now go back and do your remaining 2 years. That way it's cheaper for you. You have also gained experience. You have also, you have learned so many things. That will also make you a better RN, right?
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of colleges actually have those programs. Yeah, I've seen a couple even here in Alberta. Okay, your last words.
I'll just say I didn't give all the information, but be inquisitive. Go to the website. There are lots of videos. You can watch Nurse Ofela. She's very good at these things. She has her own YouTube channel. Follow her on Instagram. She was the one that led me to this pathway. She has been on this nursing pathway since she moved here, since 2019. So she's very much experienced and very knowledgeable about so many questions. So she has a YouTube channel. Follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, just let me know the channel.
Follow her on Instagram. She knows all things nursing. If you want to book a session with her, she has that. She will be the one to explain every nook and cranny of what is going on in Canada. And if she can't, she'll probably send you to somebody that can.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. All right, guys. So Victoria just shared how she became a registered nurse. And like she said, that's not all the information you would know or you may know. But if you want to know more, then go online, use all the resources at your beck and call. And also, I'm going to leave the name of that YouTuber on the screen for you. So you go follow her and get all the resources and be on your way to coming to Canada. That's everything we're going to be sharing right now in this particular video. The next video will be about how she transitioned. What's that question again?
How I got my first nursing job.
Yeah, how she got her first nursing job in Canada. And I'm sure that you guys really, really want to watch that video. So after this one, that's the next video that will be coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that I'll be able to bring other people on the channel to share their, all their information, how they became a lawyer, how they became a blah, 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 you know. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.